The bomb that leveled Hiroshima in 1945 was powerful enough to kill over 100,000 people and throw the world into the nuclear age. It's a terrifying thought. But what's more terrifying is that today, the standard American B-83 nuclear bomb is 80 times more powerful, and that bomb doesn't even come close to the most dangerous weapons that exist today. We're about to count down the 5 most devastating nuclear weapons aimed and ready right now, revealing the city killers and world enders held by nations like Russia and the USA, and what would really happen if the button was pushed. In the chilling game of global power, a nuclear arsenal is the ultimate trump card. For decades, the world has lived under the shadow of mutually assured destruction. A fragile piece that works like 2 people holding grenades with the pins pulled out. It's a piece held together only by the promise of total annihilation. But the weapons of today are a far cry from their Cold War ancestors. They're faster, stealthier, and more terrifyingly destructive than ever. The world's 9 nuclear-armed states are all in a race to modernize, creating weapons that push the very limits of technology and fear. According to the latest 2025 reports from leading security institutes like SIPRI, the era of countries reducing their nuclear stockpiles is over. We are diving headfirst into a new, more dangerous arms race. Russia and the United States still hold about 90% of all nuclear weapons, but China is expanding its arsenal at a blistering pace. Since 2023, it has been adding an estimated 100 new warheads to its stockpile every year. Here's a fun fact. At any given moment, at least one US or UK ballistic missile submarine is on patrol, ready to launch within minutes. So, what are the weapons we should be most concerned about? Our ranking isn't just about the size of the explosion. It's about the whole package, how it's delivered, its strategic purpose, and its terrifying potential to destabilize the entire planet. Coming in at number 5 is a weapon that feels like it was ripped straight from a nightmare. It's not a missile that soars through the sky, but a gigantic torpedo that stalks its prey from the silent depths of the ocean. This is Russia's Poseidon, an autonomous, nuclear-powered, and nuclear-armed underwater drone. First teased by President Vladimir Putin in 2018, Poseidon adds a whole new layer of terror to nuclear war. While missiles can be tracked by satellites and radar, this underwater drone is designed to be invisible. Think of it like a shark made of shadows, slipping right through the nets designed to catch normal fish. It has a nearly unlimited range, thanks to its own nuclear reactor on board, and can crawl along the seafloor for thousands of miles to stay hidden. The Poseidon is believed to carry a warhead of around 2 megatons. That's over 100 times the power of the Hiroshima bomb. But the real horror is its mission. It's designed to detonate just off the coast of a major city. An underwater explosion of that size would create a radioactive tsunami. It wouldn't just knock down the city. It would be like poisoning the entire sandbox, making places like New York or Los Angeles unlivable for generations. Special submarines like the Belgorod and Khabarovsk have been built just to carry these doomsday torpedoes. Russia has announced plans to deploy them with its Pacific Fleet, with the first divisions expected to be operational around 2025, though its full deployment is still not independently confirmed. The Poseidon is a weapon of pure vengeance, built to make sure that even if Russia was wiped out in a first strike, it could still deliver a final catastrophic blow from the sea. The Poseidon is roughly the size of a school bus and weighs as much as a blue whale, a nuclear-powered monster designed for silent apocalypse. At number 4, we have China's heavyweight champion, the Dongfeng 5, or East Wind 5. This is a colossal, silo-based intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, and it's the foundation of China's nuclear power. While newer Chinese missiles are mobile, the DF-5 is terrifying because of its raw, overwhelming destructive force. The latest versions, the DF-5B and DF-5C, can carry multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, or MIRVs. That technology works like a sinister space bus. The main missile travels to the edge of space and then opens its doors to release up to 10 smaller passenger warheads, each one programmed to fly to a different target. Each of those warheads has a potential yield of around 1 megaton, over 60 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. The DF-5 gives China the power to hit targets almost anywhere on the planet, including the entire continental United States. Its job is to guarantee that no country could attack China with nuclear weapons without facing absolute devastation in return. What makes this weapon so dangerous right now is that China is in the middle of a massive military expansion. Reports from SIPRI and the U.S. Department of Defense show China is growing its nuclear arsenal faster than anyone. As of January 2025, it was estimated that China had built or was close to finishing around 350 new missile silos, many of which could house ICBMs like the DF-5. This rapid buildup is shaking the strategic balance that has existed for decades between the U.S. and Russia, creating a new three-way nuclear chess game that is far more complicated and unpredictable. Our number 3 spot goes to the crown jewel of the American and British nuclear forces, the Trident II D5 submarine-launched ballistic missile, or SLBM. What makes the Trident so incredibly dangerous isn't just its power, but its invisibility. These missiles are hidden away on Ohio-class submarines in the U.S. Navy and Vanguard-class subs in the UK's Royal Navy. These nuclear-powered giants are among the stealthiest machines ever created. They can glide through the oceans for months at a time, completely submerged and virtually impossible to find. This is their superpower. A land-based missile silo has a fixed address. A ballistic missile submarine has no address at all. It is the ultimate guarantee of a retaliatory strike. Each Trident II missile can be loaded with up to 8 MIRV warheads, specifically the W-88. Each W-88 warhead packs a punch of about 475 kilotons, roughly 30 times the power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. A single Ohio-class submarine can carry 20 of these Trident missiles. A little back-of-the-napkin math reveals that one submarine has the potential to unleash up to 160 individual nuclear warheads, although they often carry fewer to comply with treaties. If a Trident II were launched, it would burst from the ocean, rocket into space, and release its warheads to scream back to Earth at hypersonic speeds. Their accuracy is just staggering, capable of hitting a target from over 7,000 miles away with the precision of a professional athlete throwing a dart from New York and hitting a specific window in Los Angeles. The United States is in the middle of a massive project to modernize its entire nuclear force, and these submarines are the centerpiece. The Ohio class is being replaced by the new Columbia class, ensuring this silent city-ending power remains the bedrock of American security for decades to come. At number 2 is a weapon whose nickname tells you everything you need to know, the R-36M2, known by NATO as the SS-18 Satan. This Russian ICBM is the very definition of a heavy missile. For decades, it was the most feared weapon on the planet, and even as it's being slowly replaced, its remaining power is almost unbelievable. The Satan missile was designed for one brutal purpose. It's like a boxer built not just to knock out his opponent, but to break both of their arms first so they can't punch back. Its mission is to completely obliterate an enemy's missile silos and command centers in a first strike. It's a liquid-fueled monster that's over 100 feet tall. While early models were tested with a mind-boggling 20 megaton warhead, the currently deployed versions are just as terrifying. They carry 10 separate warheads, each with a yield of around 750 kilotons. A single one of these warheads is 50 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. The sheer destructive capacity of this missile is what made it so destabilizing during the Cold War. It was engineered to overwhelm any defense system, like a tsunami crashing over a sand castle. While Russia is actively replacing the remaining Satan missiles with a newer weapon, the fact that this beast is still on active duty makes it one of the most dangerous things on Earth. It is a true city killer, a relic from the tensest moments of the Cold War that still sits waiting in its silo. And here it is, the #1 most dangerous nuclear weapon in the world right now, Russia's RS-28 Sarmat, which has more than earned its nickname Satan II. This missile is the successor to the original Satan, and it is a technological monster in every sense of the word. The Sarmat is a super-heavy ICBM that takes every frightening feature of its predecessor and cranks it up to 11. Its payload is immense, allowing it to carry between 10 and 15 large MIRVed warheads. But it's not just about how many warheads it has. The Sarmat can also be armed with avant-garde hypersonic glide vehicles. These are warheads that can maneuver at unbelievable speeds inside the atmosphere, making them nearly impossible to stop. Imagine trying to tackle a football that can dodge you in midair. That's the challenge they present to any current missile defense. One of the Sarmat's most game-changing features is its incredible range. It can strike literally any target on the globe. To do this, it's capable of a fractional orbital bombardment. In simple terms, it's like a master burglar who knows you've bolted the front door, so he just walks around the entire house and breaks in through the unlocked kitchen window. It can fly a path over the South Pole to attack the United States from the south, a direction where American missile defenses are weakest. Russia has claimed the Sarmat has been on combat duty since late 2023. Though Western analysts note it has had several test failures, and its full operational status is still being verified. Still, the sheer potential of this weapon is what puts it at the top of our list. A single Sarmat missile has the power to devastate an area covering thousands of square miles. It is the ultimate deterrent, a weapon so formidable it breaks the very logic of strategic stability. From the silent, crushing depths of the ocean to the hardened silos buried deep underground, these 5 weapons represent the terrifying peak of human ingenuity when it's pointed at destruction. The RS-28 Sarmat, the Trident II, the DF-5, the Poseidon torpedo, each one is a world ender. They are the tools of a deadly game called mutually assured destruction, a grim reality like 2 scorpions trapped in a bottle, where one cannot sting the other without ensuring its own death. According to the latest 2025 analysis, the total global inventory of nuclear weapons stands at over 12,200, with nearly all nuclear powers actively modernizing their forces. We are in a new era of nuclear rivalry, where technology is spawning weapons that are harder to track and almost impossible to stop. The terrifying truth is that these weapons aren't just concepts on a drawing board, they are assembled, aimed, and ready. The men and women who control these systems rehearse their grim task every single day. Since 1945, there have been at least 13 known nuclear close calls, including computer errors, false alarms, and near launches. The only thing more frightening than the power of these weapons is the idea of them ever being used. In a nuclear war, there are no winners, only survivors left to envy the dead. If you found this breakdown insightful, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell for more deep dives into global security and technology. And check out our other video on the screen, now about the Cold War's closest calls with nuclear disaster. Comment below, which of these weapons do you think is the most terrifying?